The city of Houston, where the flood impact is still being felt. Some people in kayaks, other people in rafts, other people just in waders. What we're seeing here now is a lot of volunteers. It's not a rescue effort, but a recovery effort. People are going to their houses, putting what they can in their boats or their rafts and dragging them back out. One thing that's hard to get across here is just how bad it smells. Sewage lines are pretty much backed up, and it's clear that there is raw sewage and a lot of it in this water. It's a very tough smell here, and a lot of people are wearing masks.
Harvey's impact being felt nationwide as millions of drivers now paying more at the gas pump. Several refineries along the Gulf Coast dealing with damage.
I expect to see, a little uptick in that.
When the supply goes down and demand stays the same, then prices are going to go up. So I totally get it.
AAA reporting the nationwide average for a gallon of regular gas up 23 cents in just a week, currently going for about $2.59. California continues to cook as a heat wave bakes the state. The high in Sacramento expected at 110 today. Fox meteorologist Rick Reichmuth.
Incredible heat. The heat continues again today and tomorrow. A bit of a reprieve comes by Monday.
Meantime, the western U.S. also dealing with an outbreak of wildfires, including a blaze burning north of L.A. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling. Weather.
The official FM NewsTalk 97.1 Weather Center forecast. A sunny, beautiful day ahead for today as we kick off the holiday weekend. A high of 79. Patchy clouds and not as cool tonight. Low 65. Tomorrow's sunny, warmer day at 88. Downright hot and humid on Labor Day. High 93 with showers and storms later Monday night. I'm meteorologist Bill Degger for FM NewsTalk 97.1.
Get a $5,000 engagement ring now for less than $85 a month. Yes, you can at Diamonds Direct with 5 years zero-interest financing now for a limited time. Pick any item. Spread your payments over 5 years without paying a dime in interest. How about a $3,000 pair of diamond stud earrings for only $50 a month? Don't miss this once-a-year opportunity. 5 years zero interest on any purchase at Diamonds Direct. Rings, earrings, bracelets, bands. 5 years zero interest. Diamonds Direct. Olive at 270. On approved credit.
Radio moves. Radio breathes. Radio never sleeps. And Next Radio keeps up. It goes where you go, so you never miss a beat. It's live, it's local, it's a connection. A shared experience, just you and your radio. And a couple million people, give or take. Next Radio keeps up. You thought that phone couldn't get any smarter? Well, it got simpler. It got leaner. It's got your back. And it'll keep you moving, winning, in the know. And it'll get you where you want to go. All in the palm of your hand. Next Radio, live and local, wherever you go.
Listen to your favorite FM stations with the free Next Radio app. Live and local, wherever you go. Download the free Next Radio app today.
Earnings vary based on your effort. Message and data rates may apply.
Do you want to learn how to make money flipping houses right here in St. Louis? If so, we have an amazing opportunity for you. We're looking for a small group of motivated individuals to join our real estate investing team. You'll learn our simple 3-step system for flipping homes right here in the local area. This is Than Merrill, star of A&E's hit TV show Flip This House. My team and I are looking for a handful of people in the St. Louis area who want to learn how to make money flipping houses in your spare time using other people's money. St. Louis is a perfect market for my system, and next week I'm holding a free 2-hour educational workshop where you will learn how to make money flipping homes and how to build long-term wealth with income properties.
To get 2 free tickets to Than's workshop, text INVEST to 99,000. Seating is extremely limited. Text in the next 10 minutes and you'll also reserve a free copy of Than's Money for Deals guide. Text INVEST to 99,000. That's INVEST to 99,000.
Hi, I'm Matt Carpenter. And I'm Adam Wainwright. We hope you'll join us this season by making your Homers for Health pledge for Cardinal Glennon kids.
Don't forget K's for Kids. Man, us pitchers are always forgotten about.
Oh yeah, sorry. You can pledge for every home run hit by a St. Louis Cardinal this season.
Or every strikeout thrown by a Cardinal pitcher, like me. I'm a pitcher, Matt. And K's for Kids, co-chairman, remember?
I got it. Pitchers are awesome. I love pitchers.
Make your pledge today at Glennon.org. Presented by Heartland Coca-Cola. trending on FM News Talk 97.1.
And it's going to take a lot to bring us back.
Gas prices are going to go up.
But the resiliency of our fellow Texans and our fellow Americans.
Stay connected.
Come as far away as Michigan to help us down here.
The city of Houston is open for business. We open for business right now.
FM News Talk 97.1.
Irma is rapidly intensifying.
Younger.
It's forecast to become a major hurricane.
Smarter. Better.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid, keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
A question that might help us understand what informs this decision. Does the president feel that young people who came to this country illegally, who came of age here, who have jobs here, went to school here, are those people Americans or are they foreign nationals?
Look, I'm not going to get into the back and forth while we're in the process of finalizing the details on this, but we're going to be working on that throughout the weekend and make that announcement on Tuesday.
Welcome into the Annie Frey Show. Hope you're enjoying your Labor Day weekend. This is about as good as the weather gets, I think. This is the weather that makes you not afraid of being too close to summer, but it makes you think of football and chili and bonfires and apple-smelling things. It's beautiful. There's a ton going on right now. That was Sarah Huckabee Sanders talking about Donald Trump's reaction to DACA. So if you're not familiar with DACA, you probably have heard of it. You probably know more about it than you think you know about it. Does the term dreamer make sense to you? Does that sound familiar? That's a political term that the Democrats like to use in reference to DACA. So what DACA is, it's a deferred action. This is the acronym, Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. And what they're talking about is illegal immigrants. They're talking about people who come here and bring children here, children who are, here without any understanding of where they are and what they're doing here. They're just doing what kids do, which is they go where their parents are, and they're brought over the border, and they come into America. Well, anytime you're talking about the illegal immigration issue, you have to ask yourself, what are you going to do to these kids? These kids have grown up here. They've known the United States as their home. They have no idea that they don't, quote unquote, belong here. So when you're trying to address the problem that this country has with illegal immigration, you have to ask yourself, what do we do with these kids? Well, President Obama said, bring them on over here and we will take care of them. Basically, that's what he said. And he didn't do that action through Congress. It's not as though the 538 members of the legislature got together and said, you know what, we need to take care of these kids. This is what is the right thing to do. We all agree on this, or at least a majority of us agree on this. This is what needs to happen. It was President Obama saying, this is what I want. Sign on the line here. Executive order. Now we have DACA. Well, Donald Trump has said that on Tuesday, or at least Huckabee Sanders has said on Tuesday that they're going to come out with their decision regarding DACA. And I guess the spectrum, Frank and I were talking about this before the show began. What are the options that are even on the table here? Does he have the right to just let it sunset, where there's a time limit that is on the program and he could just choose to not act, and by choosing to not act, it sunsets and it goes away? An action of non-action on his part. He could say, no, this is it. If you are an illegal immigrant and you came here as a child and you've been here for 10 years and you've only known this and you were here when you were a 3-week-old baby, hey, if you weren't supposed to be here and you don't have the right paperwork, you're gone. You're out. Get out of the country. He could say that too. I'm probably
I'm probably a little softer on immigration issues than some of my counterparts are in this country, or on the station, I should say. But I would also add that we have laws on the books regarding immigration that if we enforce them in the first place, we wouldn't really have to have such a large concern in other areas when it comes to people crossing into our country, undocumented, unnoted, unaware, and then putting down roots here where they become part of our system without actually being an official part of our system. Anybody who wants to ever label you as a Republican or as a conservative, as somebody who hates foreigners or immigrants or people who don't look like you, that's not accurate. The thing that we want folks to do is come to our country. Please come to our country. Please be a part of this American experiment that we are participating in every day. And here's how you do it. Here's the process by which you can come into this country and you can be a part of what we are in America. Here are the steps. It's not as if they don't exist, but please just follow our procedures when you come and join us in this wonderful country. We're joined now by Hans von Spakovsky of the Heritage Foundation, heritage.org. Hans, thanks so much for some time on a holiday Saturday. We appreciate that very much.
Well, thanks for having me.
So there's discussion that on Tuesday we're going to hear from Trump regarding what is going to happen with DACA. I want to play something for you real quick and listen. This is Javier Palomares, who is on Fox News Business, I believe, today. This is what he had to say. He's obviously Latino. This is what he had to say about the DACA program.
We have to begin with the facts. First of all, the 800,000 DACA or Dreamer individuals have to go a rigorous background check. None of them, if they are DACA individuals, are eligible for any kind of government subsidies or welfare. None of them have ever committed a crime. So let's begin with that. Right. Secondly, they pay over $2 billion on an annual basis in terms of federal and state taxes. And then thirdly, if you were to deport them or attempt to deport them, it would cost the American taxpayer over $60 billion. Right. And over a 10-year period of time, we would lose, from an economic standpoint and a growth standpoint, we would lose in excess of $280 billion in terms of economic growth over the next decade because we've exported these 800,000 educated and willing individuals. By the way, who came here through no knowledge of their own. Right, they were kids. Most of them arrived before the age of 6.
So there's all the feel good about these kids that are getting caught in the crossfires of a political game, President Obama's political game. And, you know, what we have here is a very sensitive, touching picture painted by Javier there, but we also have an enormous procedural malpractice on our government's part when it comes to illegal immigration as a whole, and specifically DACA. Do you agree with Javier there, or would we be better in a position where we did start where we were supposed to, which is if you want to be in this country, you come here legally?
Oh, no, I agree with you. And all those numbers he was coming out with, I mean, he's just making that up. I don't know where in the world he gets that. One of the most basic things is that the vast majority of the people affected by this are people who came to the U.S. when they were teenagers. It's not people who came when they were 2 or 3 years old. But here's the point that he's missing, entirely missing. Look, the argument isn't right now whether or not this is a good policy or a bad policy is totally irrelevant. The issue is that the DACA program was far beyond the constitutional authority of President Obama. He did not have the power to simply say, oh, I'm going to provide amnesty to these illegal aliens, not only provide them with amnesty, but I'm going to give them work authorizations and give them access to Social Security and other government benefits. The president can't do that. And so this program should be ended by President Trump because it's far beyond the power of the president. If people think this is a good idea, then go to Congress and convince Congress to pass a law that authorizes this.
So Geraldo Rivera also weighed in on this, and he's kind of been an interesting supporter of Donald Trump's as we've gone through here. More Donald Trump the man and sticking up for his character. But this is what he had to say about this DREAM Act.
If he were to, these are 800,000 youngsters who came here before they were 16 years old through no fault of their own. They've been living here. Every one of them, it's required they have a job, or they are registered in school, graduating high school, or in the United States military, they get the temporary work. If this program is revoked, then all of the false statements, up until now, false statements about the cruelty of Donald Trump will be true. If he, for no reason that I can see other than appealing to his base.
So is that accurate? Is it cruel for him to repeal this?
No, what he's doing is sticking with the rule of law. And let me tell you an example of what I mean. Remember, this was one of two programs that President Obama put in. Remember, the second one he tried to put in was the DACA program,
right?
Which was for adults who came here illegally. And remember, a majority of the states sued over that. And the federal court stopped that plan from going into operation. Why? Because the federal court said the president doesn't have the power to do this. This was a unilateral action. The DACA program isn't any different. So again, Rivera and others are concentrating on whether this is good policy or bad policy. They're totally ignoring the fact that the president doesn't have the power or authority to do this. And again, the place to have the arguments they're making are in the halls of Congress, not in the White House.
So politically speaking, it would like the mainstream media needs really anything actually factual to make them just pounce on Donald Trump because he can do no right as far as they're concerned. This would be like spoon feeding the mainstream media exactly what they needed for the next 2 weeks of coverage to trash Donald Trump if he were to end this. What do you expect to hear from Donald Trump on Tuesday? What do you expect his action to be? And what's the smart way to go about, as is all of the other stuff Donald Trump has been doing so far in his presidency, is a lot of undoing. Not a whole lot of doing, but a lot of undoing. What's the right process and perspective that he needs to take on Tuesday that will actually be a good thing for the country?
Well, I think it would be along the lines of what I've just been saying. I think he ought to specifically cite to the federal courts having stopped the DACA program, cite the language of the judges in that case where they talked about that the president didn't have this authority, and to say that he's basically complying with the Constitution and the rule of law, and he's going to let this particular program expire if people think it's a good idea, particularly members of Congress like Paul Ryan, then fine, do it through the statutory process. By the way, again, going back to the people that are affected by this, the vast majority of them were teenagers when they came to the United States. You think about this. I've got 3 kids. By the time they were 14, 15, 16, they spoke English fluently, read English fluently, were inculcated in the culture. So the idea that we would be doing something wrong to send people who were teenagers when they got here, to send them back to their home countries with their families, countries where they grew up speaking the language, knew the culture, that there's something wrong with that. That just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and this DACA is just another step where we're just building obstacles for ourselves to enforce the laws that are supposed to protect the people in the country. And we've gotten really far away from being okay with saying that we are a sovereign nation and the people here deserve protection. I'm from the state of Illinois, and we have, Governor Rauner's willingness to participate in the sanctuary city, sanctuary state nonsense. There's something wrong when we can't say that we want to legislate and govern based on the people who are in this country. And then you get Democrats who find themselves in leadership, or liberal-leaning Republican governors, like in the state of Illinois, and we make all of these obstacles for ourselves that make it harder for us to actually enforce the laws that are in place to protect the citizens of this country, both from danger, from people who might be running drugs, which is what Donald Trump said famously in the, drug dealers and rapists, whatever, but also protecting jobs to go to Americans and protecting assets that we have as a federal government to go to the people who are contributing to the system and will grow up to contribute in a larger place. DACA seems to be one more obstacle in the way of enforcing the immigration laws that if we would just enforce them, we wouldn't have as big of a problem in the first place.
Well, you're right about that. And in fact, that program provided a huge temptation to attract people to get into the country illegally. Look, a couple of years ago, the Heritage Foundation actually did a study. We took a look at what would happen if we actually provided amnesty to the illegal aliens, the current populations that are in the U.S. What folks need to realize is that the average illegal alien coming into the country these days has a 10th grade education, low skilled, and the amount of money that they would eventually take out in government benefits, Social Security, Medicare, et cetera, in comparison to how much they would pay in taxes, they would be an enormous outflow. The cost to the American taxpayer would be trillions of dollars. And in fact, these low-skilled workers are one of the reasons, for example, that the African-American community has such a higher unemployment rate than other groups in our society.
Yeah, and you said you're a father. I have 3 children myself. If you're looking at your children and you're on the other side of the border and life's not going great for you, and you have dwindling options, and you can see what's on the other side of the border, of course, there's a path to citizenship for anybody who wants to come into this country. There's a way to do it. But if you didn't have the time, or if you didn't have what you thought were the assets needed to do that, and you thought it was what was best for your kids, and you'd be giving them the golden goose once you got into the country, you're pretty much incentivizing people to use that as an option, where as a parent, it might be illegal for me to do that, but if I can just get there, if I can just get myself established enough, I can do that for my kids. It becomes an incentive to get people to come here and do this when maybe previously they wouldn't have even thought to do it.
Yeah, and we actually saw that. You may recall, remember in the mid-1980s, Ronald Reagan was convinced by members of Congress to agree to sign a bill in which they promised that we would finally do border security, and in exchange, we would provide amnesty, which at that time we had about 3 million illegal aliens in the country. And if you recall, what happened was Congress reneged on the promise. They didn't increase border security. We provided amnesty to those 3 million illegal aliens, which everybody said would solve the problem forever. And instead, it created a huge attraction for more illegal aliens to come into the country because they thought, oh, well, if this has happened once, it'll happen again. And within 10 years, the number of illegal aliens in the country had tripled.
Yeah, we need to do more things to encourage people to come to this country respectfully and correctly, and make that possible for people, and stop doing things that are going to encourage people to come here on their own illegally and at a cost to the American taxpayer.
Yeah, and listen, we take in almost a million legal immigrants a year, more than any other country in the world.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. And you'd think, and America is the hateful nation, depending on who you listen to. Hans von Spakovsky from the Heritage Foundation. Find all of his great work at heritage.org. Thank you so much for some time on a Saturday.
Sure, happy to do it.
Bye-bye. Yeah, Hans is on, I think, Mark's show a lot, Mark Hawk's show on noon to 3 here on 97.1. And the Heritage Foundation is always cranking out really good, well-thought-out, well-researched information. What do you want to do? Do you want to see what needs to happen here? Does Donald Trump need to say, DACA is not good policy. It's not appropriate for the President of the United States to be signing this type of policy into action. If we want to do this as a country, let's do it the right way. Let's do it through Congress. In doing so, he's also going to be taking away that opportunity, that freedom from some children who are here or who are now grown even. It's sticky. Politically sticky. What do you think? 314-969-9797, 866-455-9797. I'll take your calls when we get back here from this break. Follow me on Twitter at Annie Frey Show, and you can comment on Twitter as well during the break. I'll chat with you there. Be back in a second.
Talk lines are open now, 314-969-9797 or toll free 866-455-9797. You're listening to The Annie Frey Show.
Never quite as it seems. I know I felt like this before, but now I'm feeling it even more. Because it came from you.
Very topical. National, international news.
Keeping you informed and up to date.
U.S. news, world news, everything. Still considered my local news.
St. Louis is home of Fox News.
Get my news quickly, and it's much easier to get it
on the radio. FM News Talk 97.1.
When it's time for hospice, patients shouldn't wait. Neither should you. Vitas Healthcare has technology that assures smooth, seamless transitions and customized patient care that is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Compassion-driven care for families in distress. Technology-driven solutions for healthcare professionals. Refer today. Don't delay. Call 888-VITAS-80 or go to vitas.com. That's VITAS.com. First licensed in 1980.
Our cruise to Hawaii, transmission issues. Our daughter's wedding in Mexico, it's all behind us now, but the high-interest debt is still there, and the buildup still nags at me. But with Discover Personal Loans, the craziest thing happened. It all smoothed out.
Lighten your load with Discover Personal Loans, where you can consolidate your high-interest debt into one payment at a fixed rate that could be lower than what you pay now, saving you more money. Check your rate and monthly payment today with no impact to your credit score at discoverpersonalloans.com.
Get the biggest off-road savings of the year now during the Polaris Factory Authorized Clearance. Rebates go up to $4,000 and financing is as low as 2.99% APR on the industry's best-selling brands. Ranger, Razor, and legendary Sportsman. Now is the time to buy. See your Polaris dealer today. Offer valid in U.S. 7/26 through 9/30/17 on new vehicles. Rebates and financing vary by model year. Subject to credit approval. See dealer for details. Always wear a helmet. Never drink and ride.
Jaguar St. Louis wants you to experience the most powerful F-Type ever. The SVR Coupe, 575 horsepower, 0 to 60 in just 3.5 seconds. Test drive one today. And while you're there, check out the 2017 Jaguar XE for only $259 a month. Only at Jaguar St. Louis, a Plaza Motor Company, in Creve Coeur and JaguarSt.Louis.com. 36-month lease, 0 security deposit, $24.95 down payment, $7.95 acquisition fee, and first month's payment of $259 due at signing. Excludes retailer fees, taxes, title, and registration fees. See dealer for details. Offer expires 9/4/17.
American small business owners are seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Things are better, but we're not out of the woods yet. And sometimes getting clients to pay on time can be a challenge. Stop waiting on your net 30, 60, and 90-day invoices and get paid right now. Let AmeriFactors help get your business moving. AmeriFactors can get you the cash you need wired to you overnight. And there's nothing to pay back. AmeriFactors simply buys your accounts receivable. And if those clients don't pay on those invoices, AmeriFactors takes the loss, not you. $5,000? $5 million? Easy. Just call AmeriFactors. And the best news is that most applicants are approved. Stop waiting on your net 30s, 60s, and 90s and get paid now. That's right, get the cash you need now with nothing to pay back. AmeriFactors, helping America's small businesses be great again. Call 800-336-6468. That's 800-336-6468. 800-336-6468.
Take your home from drafty, outdated, and boring to breathtaking. Marvin Windows and Doors, enhancing your home's beauty, comfort, and value. It doesn't get easier than this. From selecting styles, colors, and energy-efficient options, your local Marvin authorized installing retailer will help you find window and door solutions that'll fit your home perfectly. They'll measure, deliver, and install for a simple, worry-free experience from start to finish. Marvin Windows and Doors, built around you.
Your local Marvin dealers, Fisher Window and Door and Fisher Lumber Company, have the experience, industry experts, and friendly advice to help you find the perfect solution for your project. As a Marvin authorized installing retailer, with over 100 years of combined experience, we've earned our reputation with exceptional service and quality products. Visit Fisher Window and Door in Brentwood or Fisher Lumber Company in East Alton today.
FM NewsTalk 97.1 is teaming up with the American Red Cross and our fellow St. Louis broadcasters to help the flood victims of Hurricane Harvey. Please go to redcross.org or text Harvey to 90999 and make a donation today. Your donation will help the American Red Cross provide meals, shelter, and hope to tens of thousands of people affected by this historic flooding. You can also find this information on our station's website, 971talk.com.
Tilted stage, the role you made me play of the fool. No, I don't like you. I don't like you.
Talk lines are open now. 314-969-9797 or toll free 866-455-9797. This is the Annie Frey Show.
But I got smarter, I got harder in the nick of time. Honey, I rose up from the dead, I do it all the time. I got a list of names and yours is in red underlined. I check it once, then I check it twice. Oh, look what you made me do. Look what you made me do. Look what you just made me do. Look what you just made me do.
Looking, I don't know, looking suspiciously presidential really down in Texas.
Suspiciously presidential. But yeah, that's, I talked about it before. When a president or a vice president or somebody, governor, comes to your community and you're suffering, it makes a huge difference.
Welcome back into the Annie Frey Show. That was Joe Scarborough and crew talking about how Mike Pence looks suspiciously presidential. How do you look suspiciously presidential? I would think that there are times when Trump has looked suspiciously presidential because it's a little out of the ordinary for him. The mainstream media's version of presidential, what they would want to see is not what Donald Trump is going to be. And part of that is on purpose. I got a tweet from Pamela. You can follow me on Twitter at Annie Frey Show and tweet at me during the breaks or during the show, and I can chat with you there. And she was talking about the DACA conversation that we were having in the first segment. Donald Trump is going to weigh in on this on Tuesday. DACA being the deferred action for childhood arrivals, which is, those are the dreamers. Those are the folks who came to this country as children illegally, but they were brought here. It's not like they elected to make a decision to come here. They got here and they were brought here illegally. What do we do with those kids? Well, President Obama signed an executive order that said that if they followed a laundry list, there's 7 bullet points here, that this is how to be able to participate in this program. Among other things, you had to be under 31 as of June 15th, 2012, which I presume is when it was signed. You came to the United States before your 16th birthday, so you had to have come here when you were under 16. So this applies to people who were brought into the United States before they were 16. And you had to be under 31 at the time of the signing in 2012. Lived continuously in the United States from June 15th, 2007 until present. Physically present in the United States on June 15th, 2012, and at the time you apply. Come to the United States without documents. You had to come to the United States without documents before June 15th, 2012, or your lawful status expired as of June 15th, 2012. You have to be currently studying or a graduate from high school, GED, or have been honorably discharged from the Coast Guard or military. And you cannot have been convicted of a felony. Certain significant misdemeanors, including a single DUI or 3 or more misdemeanors of any kind. So the parameters with which this was applied is small, and it applies to a group of people during a specific time. And it's saying that if you fit these parameters, we're not going to ship you out. You don't have to live in terror that you're going to get rounded up and shipped across the border and dropped off in a field somewhere because we don't want you anymore. That's the way President Obama would have you understand this. Pamela on Twitter says, I keep hearing, quote, rule of law, but what about the law of mercy? It's partly our fault, too. And I do agree with her that we have set up a system of laws or exceptions that are made that entice people to come here. It's like dangling the carrot in front of the horse, and we're giving people reasons to break our immigration policies, to breach our border and come here because of the incentives that we're giving them. And when we're enticing people to do so knowingly, you do have some culpability in that, specifically when you are refusing to enforce your own immigration laws. That's a big problem. So the question has to be this is not a question about what do we do in the future about this. It's what do we do about the people who are already here. I think it's impossible to have a conversation about these people who came here as children. I think it's impossible to have a conversation about this apart from the fact that we have a less than ideally secure border in the first place. You know, like if you've been shot and you are bleeding and when you fell, you also scraped your arm, or maybe you hit your arm and you might have a broken bone in your arm somewhere or something. The first thing that you have to do in order to fix all of the other problems is you have to stop the bleeding. You have to make it so that you can preserve the entire body and handle the smaller parts, the smaller injuries, the smaller issues that you might be facing, but you have to stop the bleeding first. So we have to stop people from coming here illegally. And we have to be okay with saying that we don't want to have an open border. Nobody has an open border. Nobody has just free come as you are and come when you want and come and go as you please. That's not how any of these other countries work. Donald Trump's wall is a way to stop the bleeding. It's not necessarily the only way. If we would have been enforcing our immigration laws in the 8 years preceding Donald Trump, the problem would not be so vast. If we would be okay with saying we are not going to allow anybody to come here at any time for any particular reason that they want because we have laws here. If we were okay with saying that and then therefore enforcing the laws that are already on the books, we wouldn't have as much of this problem to deal with. So if you want to weigh in on that, you can follow me on Twitter at Annie Frey Show. Tweet at me during the break. We're going to talk on the other side of this break with Illinois State Senator Paul Schimpf. Paul Schimpf was a part of a compromise between the Republicans and the Democrats in the Illinois legislature regarding education funding. It's a little controversial. It's progressive in the sense that we actually, in the state of Illinois, have something that even alludes to school choice. but it sure did come at a cost. We're going to talk with him, Senator Paul Schimpf, here in just a minute and see what he thinks about this and see if he thinks this is a step forward for the state of Illinois. At Annie Frey Show on Twitter. Chat with me on the break. Be back in just a second.
Nobody and nobody trusts me. I'll be the actress starring in your bad dreams. I don't trust nobody.
Talk lines are open now. 314-969-9797 or toll free 866-455-9797.
I'll be the actress starring in your bad dreams.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show.
I'm sorry, the old tailor can't come to the phone right now.
Dependable weather.
Clouds take control today. Chance of a couple of spotty
with Fox 2 meteorologist Dave Murray.
Brought to you by Air Comfort Service. 0% financing and factory rebates, plus utility rebates on a new HVAC system. Details at aircomfortservice.com.
Hey, at our startup, my team and I move at the speed of tech 24/7. Bottom line, I just want the news that matters. So I turn to my local radio and TV stations. I want to hear from people who live and work in my town, people I know and trust. For the best entertainment, sports, news, weather, and traffic, anytime, anywhere, I stay local. Support your local stations. Text RADIO to 52886. Furnished by the NAB and this station. Message and data rates may apply. Reply STOP to opt out.
This is Sean Vinson, president of Vinson Mortgage. Our family has over 27 years of experience in the mortgage business. We know that experience is critical, but a solid, trustworthy reputation for providing a stress-free and seamless process, all while treating our clients with courtesy and respect, is the Vinson Mortgage difference. Just listen to what one of our clients has to say.
I felt like I had no options anymore, and Vinson Mortgage gave me options. I actually called right before a holiday weekend. They immediately started working on the process. They were always available for any of my questions, even on the weekends. They literally saved me $700 a month. They really made the process easy and effortless for me. Best experience I have had.
That's what sets Vinson Mortgage apart from others. Why would you go anywhere else? Call us today at Vinson Mortgage, 314-839-9999, or chat with us online at vincentmortgage.com. Again, that's vincentmortgage.com, or 314-839-9999. NMLS 225095, 12801 Flushing Meadows Drive, St. Louis, Missouri, 63131.
Hi, Mark Goldstein here for Edwards Carpet. It's time for our huge Labor Day sale, and we've put together some incredible deals. We've got a 70-ounce face weight carpet, in other words, a thick, top-of-the-line carpet that normally sells for $7.99 for only $4.79 a square foot. Solid and tonal plush carpets that go for $6.99 are now only $3.99 a square foot, and we have a nice entry-level carpet for only $2.89 a square foot. These all-inclusive prices include everything: carpet, pad, installation, removal of your old carpet, and the moving of your furniture. Along with that, you'll get not 12, but 15 months interest-free financing, and to save you even more, you'll pay no tax. If you've even considered new flooring, this is the sale you don't want to miss. Look for our ad in the Post-Dispatch, visit us online at edwardscarpet.com, and hurry into any of our 5 showrooms. From now through Labor Day, we're donating $1 for every square yard of carpet we sell to Gateway to a Cure, benefiting the Michael J. Fox Foundation and St. Louis's Parkinson's Disease Association.
Come on down to Edwards Carpet Stores.
Earnings vary based on your effort. Message and data rates may apply. Do you want to learn how to make money flipping houses right here in St. Louis? If so, we have an amazing opportunity for you. We're looking for a small group of motivated individuals to join our real estate investing team. You'll learn our simple 3-step system for flipping homes right here in the local area. This is Than Merrill, star of A&E's hit TV show Flip This House. My team and I are looking for a handful of people in the St. Louis area who want to learn how to make money flipping houses in your spare time using other people's money. St. Louis is a perfect market for my system, and next week, I'm holding a free 2-hour educational workshop where you will learn how to make money flipping homes and how to build long-term wealth with income properties. To get 2 free tickets to Than's workshop, text INVEST to 99,000. Seating is extremely limited. Text in the next 10 minutes and you'll also reserve a free copy of Than's Money for Deals guide. Text INVEST to 99,000. That's INVEST to 99,000.
Hey St. Louis, it's Brian Kilmeade with a reminder to join me each weekday morning from 9 till noon as we cover the biggest and hottest news of the day. We even mix in some fun. Kilmeade and Friends weekdays at 9 a.m. on FM NewsTalk 97.1.
talk lines are open now, 314-969-9797, or toll free 866-455-9797.
I was rolling wheels and shifting gears around that Jersey Turnpike. Barney stopped me with his gun 10 minutes after midnight.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Rusty old truck. I don't know about that accent, son. Just where did you come from? I said where I come
Welcome
from.
back into the Annie Frey Show. Speaking of where I come from, in the great state of Illinois, and I don't say that sadly, although sometimes it's sad. Joined now by Illinois State Senator Paul Schimpf. Thank you so much for some time on a Saturday, on a holiday weekend. We really appreciate that.
Oh, you're welcome, Annie. It's always good talking with you.
So the education funding formula has passed. I keep hearing people say that this is a big step forward for the state of Illinois. Tell us a little bit about what the legislature accomplished and how you feel about it.
Well, I voted yes on this, but I'm not part of the group that's doing a victory dance in the end zone over this.
Okay.
I would say I voted yes reluctantly. This was a compromise. Really, whenever you have compromise legislation, you're not going to be happy with a lot of the stuff that's in there. So I voted for it because I thought the legislation did three things, and it was, no matter what anybody says about it, I think everybody, except for the far left, agrees that this was a big improvement over Senate Bill 1. But the reason I voted for this compromise was, first, it did put us on a pathway towards parity with education funding. Right now, Chicago gets way more than their proportional share. Under this bill, they still do get more, but that's for now. Going forward, they will have their education funds calculated by formula, just like everybody else. This bill did away with the notorious Chicago block grant, which the Chicago block grant was where Chicago got a huge chunk of education funding before anybody else got anything. This bill did away with that. So that was one reason that it was good. The second reason that it was good is it mostly got the state off the hook for the Chicago teacher pension payments. Mm-hmm. That SB 1 had the state completely on the hook to make up this shortfall in the Chicago teacher pensions. It would have been all told to the tune of $500 million that the state was going to have to pick up under SB 1. The state is still picking up some, but it's $40 million as opposed to $500 million. So the damage is not as bad as it could have been. So that was another reason I supported it. And then lastly, it was critical that we had to get some funding out the door so that our school districts could remain open. I had a couple districts in my 58th Senate district that only had a few weeks worth of reserves left. They were going to close their doors unless we got some K through 12 funding out. So that's why I voted for this. I do think it's better than SB 1. But there's a lot that I didn't like.
So SB 1 was passed by both houses. Was it by the end of May? Isn't that correct?
Yes, it was.
Originally? So let me ask you this real quick.
It was passed at the end of May, mm-hmm. and then President Cullerton and Speaker Madigan decided to sit on the bill so that they could create a crisis and have a situation where schools were not going to be able to stay open. So
we have a situation here where what I hear you saying is a vote. The only thing worse than voting yes was voting no, because kids were going to not get their school funding. So my question to you is, if SB 1 would have come out of the House and come out of the Senate, and it would have gone to the governor's desk in a timely fashion, and that timely fashion is out of respect to the taxpayers of the state of Illinois who have children who need to get into class and not be worried with these games that get played in Springfield, if that would have been done in a timely manner, and if this bill that you voted yes on would have been voted on, say, the first week of July, would you have voted yes?
At this point, I'm not sure that I would have. It was the fact that some of my school districts were only had a few weeks of reserves. I had superintendents telling me that they were going to only be able to stay open until mid-September. That was certainly a factor. This bill, was something that it doesn't. But right now, under this current bill, Chicago is getting all the money that they were going to get under SB1, which meant that they're getting 34% of state K through 12 education dollars is going to Chicago, where only 19% of the students are. That's not a good balance. So that's why I voted against SB1. We did, this bill was much better than SB1. But you're asking me a hypothetical. One of the key factors in my vote was the fact that we only had a few weeks before some of my schools would close.
And this is how this is designed. This is not, it's not like this crisis just bubbled up because the entire legislature is hapless and doesn't know what they're doing. This is very much so by design. And you even said it, and we've heard it for weeks and weeks. And this is just one more example in the laundry list of times where we've seen Mike Madigan and the people who are in his party with Cullerton manipulate the system in order to get what they want, what they think that they need, and they're really putting the kids in the line of fire. And you were not willing to pull the trigger on the kids in your district. You said, no, these kids need to get their funding. But admittedly, it's not the perfect bill. It's not the bill that we need for the students in the in Illinois school districts, but it's better than keeping them out of the classroom.
I agree with that 100%, and it's something where it is frustrating that Speaker Madigan and President Cullerton play these types of games. I mean, you look at the whole budget impasse that we went 2.5 years without a budget. That was Speaker Madigan who engineered that. His goal was that he wasn't going to pass a budget unless he had our governor take ownership of a giant tax increase. Speaker Madigan had enough Democratic votes to pass a budget all through 2015 and 2016. And there were enough Democrats to vote to pass a budget and override any veto from the governor. And Speaker Madigan, had said repeatedly, "Well, I don't have the votes." Well, if you don't think you have, if you say you can't negotiate with the governor, then negotiate with your own caucus. It's really unfortunate that. This is typical political brinksmanship in Illinois, and every time you think the political class in Illinois cannot lower the bar, they somehow find a way to do so. And President Cullerton and Speaker Madigan holding on to that education funding bill for 60 days was an absolute new low. And they never gave a reason. They never gave an explanation for why they did that.
And they don't have to, because nobody pressures them to do, though. It is Exhibit A. I got about a minute here. I've heard the word school choice thrown around in this education funding formula bill. It seems to me like, from what I've read, it's more scholarship oriented. The question I have is, are my tax dollars that I pay in property taxes, income taxes, or anything, do I have any more control over my tax dollars going to send my child to the school that I want them to go to? Public school, parochial school, private school, charter school?
This bill does not move tax dollars. There is no money that is going into the hands of the state of Illinois and being given to private schools. What this bill does is it allows for tuition tax credits. So there's a tuition tax credit that you can get for donating to a private school. It reduces your taxes, so not as much money is going into the general revenue fund. It is not a voucher. That's something that was a common mistake I don't know if it was a mistake or if it was on purpose. I'll let you and your listeners can figure that out. But if this has been described as vouchers by some, it was not a voucher program, but it is not state money. It's a tuition tax credit that already exists. By the way, it's just the amount that you are eligible to take a tax credit on has gone way up.
Well, Illinois State Senator Paul Schimpf, out of the 58th District, we appreciate your time. I hope you have a great Labor Day weekend. And I know that it's hard to be a Republican in the state of Illinois, because I am one. And we appreciate your representation in Springfield. And we hope that you continue to push back on this type of political gamesmanship that doesn't represent the people. It doesn't represent the students. It doesn't represent children. It's just more politics. And we appreciate you being there to push back on it.
Well, thank you for having me on, Annie. Very well said, and I'm going to keep fighting the good fight.
All right. Thank you very much, Senator.
Bye.
It is very frustrating I'm glad he said it, because he said what I wanted to hear from him, which was, I voted yes on this bill, but I didn't really have a choice not to, because a no vote on this bill was going to keep the schools not funded. And in order to make that play, in order to keep children out of the classroom, you have to ask yourself what that is going to do in the future for education in the state of Illinois. If that is then parlayed into elections where they run commercial after commercial and you get like a dozen placards in your mailbox that talk about how much Paul Schimpf hates kids because he didn't vote yes, blah, blah, blah. Well, no, actually, Mike Madigan held those kids hostage and he got exactly what he wanted because that's what he does every single time. It's really frustrating as a taxpayer. I mean, I'm here talking to you about this, and I'm trying to get you to care about this, specifically if you're in the state of Illinois, so that we can affect some change in Springfield, because we need to send the right people to Springfield that will actually care about doing the right thing, not the politically expedient thing, and making change happen for these kids. For the taxpayers. We're going to talk with Chet Plebin here right at the beginning of the 6 o'clock hour. Stay tuned for that. We're going to talk about the Officer Stockley case, Lamar Anthony Smith. Stay tuned. At Annie Frey Show on Twitter over the break. Chat with me.
I lost a universal joint and I had to use my...
Stockley testified he was justified in using deadly force. Smith took off when Stockley and his partner suspected he was part of a drug deal. During the chase, a police camera recorded Stockley saying he's going to kill that expletive. Stockley and his defense say Smith had a gun. One was found, but questions about that gun surfaced when Smith's DNA was not on the gun, but Stockley's was.
Get to heaven where I come from.
So you're in the market for high-end windows like Anderson, Marvin, and Pella. You owe it to yourself, though, to look at Beechworth Windows by James Hardy. Banner Construction is a preferred James Hardy installer, and they have the expertise to make your home a real showplace. Or if you're looking for a more moderately priced window with all the same benefits of energy conservation and low maintenance, Banner offers Simonton Windows, rated the best vinyl window by Consumer Reports. And right now, Banner Construction is making both Beechworth and Simonton windows even more affordable with their best offer of the year. Buy 4 windows from Banner and get 1 free. Make your home cozy this winter with quality installation from Banner with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Whether you want luxury windows from Beechworth or affordable quality from Simonton, trust your project to Banner. Buy 4 windows and get 1 free now through Halloween. Only at Banner Construction. Call 314-569-1050, 314-569-1050.
The Missouri Department of Conservation is celebrating 80 years of serving nature and you. Come to an open house with conservation leaders to hear about our history, priorities, and challenges, and offer your comments. Join us between 6 and 8 p.m. September 7th at the Powder Valley Nature Center in Kirkwood. Come at 4 p.m. to learn about pollinators. Learn more at MissouriConservation.org/open house.
It's the best offer ever from Diamonds Direct. 5 years, 0 interest financing on anything and everything. Now, for a limited time, pick any item and spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest. How about a $4,000 Diamond Eternity Band? And you pay only $67 a month. Or a $6,000 designer engagement ring, only $100 a month. Hurry, this once-a-year offer at Diamonds Direct will not last long. 5 years, 0 interest, nothing down, and nothing held back. Only at Diamonds Direct. Olive in 27, approved credit.
The Financial Symphony is a show that blends the worlds of music and finance together in one harmonious package. It features your local financial maestro, Jerry Means.
A lot of advisors out there are mainly giving accumulation advice or looking at the growth through your working years. You really need to take a look at, is your advisor giving you advice on preservation and distribution?
That's the Financial Symphony with Jerry Means, Sunday mornings at 9 on FM News Talk 97.1.
You've heard of the Fun Police?
Well, we're the opposite. The original Donut Shop coffee. Full-flavored, deliciously straightforward coffee best enjoyed with a smile. So good, it's criminal. Enjoy a cup and sprinkle some fun into your day. Made for your Keurig brewer. Find it at Keurig.com and grocery stores everywhere. Just look for the bright teal box with the donut. The original Donut Shop coffee. Have more fun.
KFTK FM Florissant, KFTK AM East St. Louis, K254CR St. Louis. Powered by Window World. FM News Talk 97.1.
Touring historic destruction. I'm Tom Graham, Fox News.
I want to thank you, and I want to look at all these. Thank you, fellas.
President Trump speaking to first responders in the wake of Hurricane Harvey today in Texas and Louisiana.
They have worked so hard, and the coordination between the federal and the state and the local has been terrific, and we're going to keep it going that way. If anything, we'll even get it. I don't know if it gets better, but we're going to try and make it better.
Also meeting with victims at Houston's NRG Center and calling for a National Day of Prayer tomorrow while speaking at a church in Pearland. This is some communities are starting to see a silver lining in Harvey's wake. Corpus Christi Mayor Joe McComb.
We've got all our power back except for maybe just a spot here and there within the city.
Other communities, though, not faring so well.
I have no choice but to issue a mandatory evacuation.
Houston Mayor Sylvester Turner speaking last hour says the order only applies to a few hundred residents. Fox's Steve Harrigan is in floodwaters submerging parts of the nation's fourth largest city, and the sewers are now backed up.
There is just an awful smell here. It's clear. You know, we've heard things about what could be in the water. It's clear to anyone here that there is raw sewage in this water, and a lot of it. So anyone going through it without waders on could be in trouble. We're seeing just a husband and wife in the distance. They're going to their house in their kayak to get their possessions, and it's mainly been people pulling out objects right now. A lot of people expressing some frustration to us as well. Some of these houses flooded not by the storm, but by a controlled release from two reservoirs. There were concerns about dams breaking. So to avoid that and to avoid the disaster that could come from that, they released water from two reservoirs.
Floodwaters in Houston not expected to recede for another couple weeks. Meantime, there was some return to normalcy. The Astros taking their home turf for a game against the Mets, beating New York 12-8. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling. Weather.
The official FM News Talk 97.1 Weather Center forecast calls for a comfortable night tonight. No problems if you're going out this evening. Partly cloudy tonight, low 64 to 68. Tomorrow, sunny, warmer day, but still not bad for early September, high 87. Mainly clear tomorrow night, low 66 to 70. Labor Day, hot and humid, sun mixing with clouds, high 92. Could see a shower or thunderstorm late in the day or at night. Cooler Tuesday. I'm meteorologist Frank Streit for FM News Talk 97.1.
Tim Jones here for Universal Windows Direct. You know, the kids are back in school. We're flipping their calendar page, which means winter is right around the corner. You might need new windows. If they're moldy, ugly, fogged up, drafty, or worse, cold weather is not far away. Don't suffer through one more winter in a cold, drafty home. Call my guys at Universal Windows Direct. They're a great local company. Universal Windows Direct offers windows that are more efficient on the edge of the glass than other windows on the market. It's aerospace technology called Super Spacer. Their windows have a life expectancy 5 times that of other systems, so you get windows that perform better and last longer. Universal is making it easy for you. Your home can be cozy all winter because for every window you buy, you get the next window free. There's no limit. 0% financing for 36 months, plus this week, free installation. As always, get the Universal True Lifetime Warranty for as long as you own your home and for 30 years to the next homeowner. Schedule your free in-home estimate today. Call Universal Windows Direct, 314-878-0300. Go to universalwindowsstlouis.com. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
I don't know about you, but I like having a clean car. Hey everybody, it's Mark Close, and taking care of me and my car is Rain Tunnel Express Car Wash. They have locations on both sides of the river. They're in and out 4 or 5 minutes. Your car is going to come out looking great. And by the way, and I get it, there's some great car washes around that'll run you upwards of $15 to $20. At Rain Tunnel Express, $6. That's right, $6. The car comes out looking great. You just ride right through the tunnel with it. The tires, the wheels look good. It dries. All the spots go away. They got great friendly kids working there. Real clean facility for $6. Now, if you buy the Money Saver card, it will lower the price of that car wash down to $5. You can afford to get your car washed every week for $5. It is the automaker's recommended wash. There's no brushes, only cloth, no scratching, coming out looking great. Rain Tunnel Express. For more info, please go to raintunnelexpress.com.
American small business owners are seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Things are better, but we're not out of the woods yet. And sometimes getting clients to pay on time can be a challenge. Stop waiting on your net 30, 60, and 90-day invoices and get paid right now. Let AmeriFactors help get your business moving. AmeriFactors can get you the cash you need wired to you overnight. And there's nothing to pay back. AmeriFactors simply buys your accounts receivable. And if those clients don't pay on those invoices, AmeriFactors takes the loss, not you. $5,000? $5 million? Easy. Just call AmeriFactors. And the best news is that most applicants are approved. Stop waiting on your net 30s, 60s, and 90s and get paid now. That's right, get the cash you need now with nothing to pay back. AmeriFactors, helping America's small businesses be great again. Call 800-336-6468. That's 800-336-6468. 800-336-6468.
Hurricane Harvey.
Catastrophic. So they had 2 feet of water in the house.
Historic amount of water.
One of the largest disasters America has ever faced.
Keeping you informed and up to date.
Unprecedented. There's never been anything like it.
Driving up the price at the pump.
All of our energy.
Economic output.
A national emergency.
The news and talk station for St. Louis.
Flooding all over the place.
It's just overwhelming.
FM News Talk.
Our hearts are all in Houston today.
97.1.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long. Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Stockley said he was justified using deadly force even before the police pursuit began in December 2011. The former St. Louis police officer and his partner pursued Anthony Lamar Smith after a suspected drug transaction, and Stockley shot him 5 times at the end of the pursuit. The former officer said his partner yelled "gun" and shattered the suspect's window before the pursuit. Stockley said he was justified because he said the suspect's car hit him. Then during the pursuit, Stockley acknowledged it sounds like you can hear him say, "Kill that expletive." He says he does not remember saying it. Stockley said he ordered his partner to hit the suspect's car because it had just driven into oncoming traffic and it needed to be stopped immediately. And he said it took 15 seconds from the time he exited his police vehicle until he started shooting Smith, who he thought had reached for his gun.
Welcome back into the Annie Frey Show. Hope you're having a wonderful Labor Day weekend. This is the weather that you just would like to order for every single day. It's so beautiful outside. So hopefully you're enjoying your time off. Maybe you have a long weekend. I hope you do. There's a lot going on in St. Louis and a lot of anticipation right now in a verdict that is going to be read in another officer-involved shooting. And we have experienced, leading up to the reading of this verdict, when we don't know when it could be Tuesday, it could be we don't know exactly when it's going to be, I don't believe. Anthony Lamar Smith was shot by Jason Stockley. He was an officer. So Jason Stockley is a white police officer. Anthony Lamar Smith is a black man who was being pursued. He was evading the police officer, and there was an altercation. There were shots fired, and Stockley ended Lamar Anthony Smith's life. The verdict is going to be a very tense reading. If it's a not guilty one, there are people, activists, people in the ministry, clergy, who have said that they are going to invoke mass disruption, inciting Ferguson like riots again. And it seems to be like we've seen this before. We know how this goes down, and they're looking to do it again, and even with a greater magnitude. We're joined now by respected St. Louis attorney who has dealt with cases like this before, Chet Pleban. Chet, thank you so much for some time on a Saturday.
Hi, Annie. How are you?
Doing okay. So we have a controversial court case ahead of us. We have activists saying he's guilty, or we riot, or we make this another Ferguson, and we have justice somewhere in the midst of all of that. What are we expecting to happen here, and what do we know about this case so far that leads us to maybe point in a specific direction or another?
Well, I don't know what's going to happen in the long run of things with respect to the protests. You certainly respect a person's right to protest if they vehemently disagree with the decision. That's certainly their right to disagree. Where they step over the line is when they incite violence, when they torch or ruin innocent property owners and businesses and those sorts of things, like we saw in Ferguson. I mean, those people in Ferguson had nothing to do with the Darren Wilson case and the Michael Brown case, yet their businesses were destroyed and the city, in the long run of things, suffered. What we do know about this particular case, however, factually, is that it began in December of 2011. That was later on in 2012. Sometime the federal government and the state prosecutors and police agencies all investigated this. And there was not a criminal charge or an indictment returned against this particular officer. Now, my experience particularly with the federal government, and that would be probably the Civil Rights Division of the Justice Department, reviewed this eventually. They turn over rocks. They're not shy about doing a complete investigation, and they're not shy about ultimately indicting a police officer where they believe that criminal behavior has occurred. The state government, same way, they looked at this. Now, Jennifer Joyce, right at the end of her term as the elected circuit attorney, as she was leaving office, decided, for whatever reason, she claimed newly discovered evidence, she decided to charge this officer, bring him back from Texas where he was living to face a murder indictment and another charge of armed criminal action. I don't know, I didn't know at the time, and I still don't know what that so-called newly discovered evidence is.
And nobody does, right? If you don't, the people on the steps don't. Isn't that correct? They don't have privileged information ability that you don't.
Have no idea. I mean, we know, dating back to 2012, that DNA was found on the murder weapon. We know that it was only the officer's DNA found on the murder weapon. Interestingly, generally speaking, it's rare to find DNA at all on any type of a gun. Well, we knew that back in 2012. We knew that the officer is alleged to have made the statement, however you interpret that, about going to kill him, etc. We know that it was a purported drug deal gone bad. We know that there was a chase. We know that there was video evidence. We know that the officer went back to his vehicle. There's video of that. He claimed at the time to get a clot pack to stop the bleeding. We went back. We know that the evidence doesn't show that the officer had any other gun when he returned to that vehicle. So I'm not sure what's new here. I'm not sure why, when she left office, that she decided to pursue this case. But it always amazes me, and I've been involved in a lot of high-profile cases that involve police officers. Not too very long ago, and I think the only other case, frankly, in which a police officer was charged with murder was the Bobby Dotson case. That was several years ago. He was accused of striking a suspect that he was arresting on a rooftop in the middle of the night, striking him with a flashlight and causing a massive skull fracture.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, there were mass protests. We had a whole variety of people in town, and we had streets that were traffic was being upset. Al Sharpton was in town protesting, etc. And again, it's fine to protest, but in every single one of these cases, it amazes me about how people have opinions as to guilt or innocence that know nothing about the case. I mean, nothing.
Right.
They don't read the police reports. They don't read the forensics. They don't know anything other than what they read in the Post-Dispatch or they hear in the news media. And that sometimes tells a story, but it doesn't necessarily tell the whole story. And it certainly does not tell the tale of if one person says one thing, and I've been involved in tons of these cases, where a witness will say one thing when the investigation is conducted initially, and then when you take their deposition 6 months later, the story is completely different because you answer a question and an answer under oath. It's completely different. So they don't get the benefit of any of that. And so, but yet they have an opinion. And their opinion is he's guilty. And please don't confuse me with the facts to change my mind that he's anything other than guilty.
Pesky facts.
yes, they get in the way of all this stuff. And Tim Wilson, who is the judge that's assigned to this case, and as you know, it was a jury waived case. And I've known him for many, many years. I knew him when he was an assistant United States attorney working for the Justice Department. And I've had numerous cases with him since he's been on the bench for 25 or so years. Tim Wilson is a fair judge. He will give both sides a fair trial. He will decide the case based upon the facts that he hears in the courtroom, not what some newspaper says, what he hears himself with his own ears and sees with his own eyes. He will then decide the case based upon the law. And the law that's involved here, and the law is a little complicated. Anytime a police officer uses deadly force, the United States Supreme Court, in cases like Tennessee versus Garner and Graham versus Cooper, have pronounced a test that has to be applied. And that test is the use of deadly force has to be based on objective reasonableness. And usually what we see in the media reports, well, that individual didn't have a gun and the police officer used deadly force, shot, and killed him. Well, the fact of the matter is that doesn't necessarily matter, because if the circumstances were such that the officer objectively and reasonably believed that individual was going to use deadly force, he has a right to respond with deadly force of his own, namely a gun. And so Tim Wilson has to look at all of that, what objectively this officer saw, not personally, but what another police officer in the same or similar circumstance objectively would have concluded. So simply because this officer says, well, I thought this. Well, the question is that objectively reasonable? And so that's complicated. It's a complicated set of facts.
It seems like the burden of proof there is a pretty large burden to bear. Jason Stockley is being charged with first-degree murder and armed criminal action. I am by no means well-versed in the way of legalese, and you certainly are a master at it. Is that a pretty steep charge? Is that like trying to go for the whole grand slam of charges, or is there a lesser charge that could have been brought against Stockley that would be easier to prove? Because to me, in St. Louis, 2 officers were shot in broad daylight just north of the city yesterday afternoon. These police officers are always on guard. They always have to be prepared. They always have to be assessing the situation, and they always have to be ready to act in the event that they feel that their life is threatened. That's their job, and they're there to protect other people, but they're also there to protect themselves. What kind of burden of proof is there on the prosecution here, and is how hard is it to actually get that burden of proof out there for the judge to see in this case in order to get a guilty verdict?
Well, it's substantial, because what the prosecution has to prove in a case like this is premeditation. Murder capital murder is a very, very high standard, and the punishment for that is either death or life without the possibility of probation or parole. And so you have other degrees of murder that could have been charged that would simplify it. Now, premeditation, again, you have to fit the premeditation proof into what a police officer and those Supreme Court cases talk about with regard to objective reasonableness. And so premeditation means that you went out and you decided, I'm going to kill that person, and you took steps to accomplish that. Whereas a police officer, as you said, has to react within seconds. I mean, when I try these cases, it's interesting because we tell the juries, hey, listen, we've been trying this case for a week, but the police officer that's involved in this case didn't have a week to react.
Mm-hmm.
He had about 3 seconds to react.
And a life or death decision for himself.
Yes, for himself, correct. And so the standard of proof that's required by the state in order to get a conviction, and that proof has to be beyond a reasonable doubt. And if there's any doubt, then Judge Wilson has to give the defendant the benefit of that doubt. But that's within the sphere of premeditation and balanced against, the seconds with which police officers have to react. Murder second degree would be a lesser charge of murder, and there'd be less proof, recklessness, etc. Manslaughter would be down someplace down below that.
So I haven't seen this in any of the reporting. Do we know who owned the gun that was in Lamar Anthony Smith's car? Is there any trace on that? I mean, I know we have DNA evidence, but do we know who owns it?
I don't think there's any proof. Usually what happens in a lot of those cases is, particularly if guns are used in drug deals gone bad, there's usually no way to trace it.
Okay.
Usually those guns are stolen, or usually there's not exactly a paper trail.
But it's not like
it's
not like it was owned by the officer, because people are saying that he planted that gun in there. There's no connection outside of the DNA evidence on that weapon that connects it to evidence that connects it to Officer Stockley.
Correct. There's a piece of his DNA on the gun, but he says that he picked up the gun. He acknowledges that he picked it up to render it safe, to make sure that there were no bullets in it.
Yeah.
So it didn't accidentally discharge after the event was over and hurt somebody else. So he acknowledges, which he did back in 2012, that he touched the gun. There's no question that he touched the gun.
And I want to ask you one other question here before I have to let you go. The disruptions, this mass disruption that has been promised by activists, by clergy, by people who feel that this is just another chapter in an endless book of black people being shot at the hands of white officers who are shooting them because they're black. That's what they are saying is happening here. How do these disruptions affect justice, or do they even affect justice?
Well, they do affect justice, and obviously, I guess the point of this is that we're going to intimidate this judge. We don't care what the rule of law is. We're going to intimidate this judge to find this officer guilty. It doesn't make any difference to us whether or not the facts support that. That is not conducive to an orderly society. That's why we have laws. That's why we have rules. And, again, I thought of this the other day. Where is the respect? Where's the respect for each other? Where's the respect for the law? You can disagree with me. I can disagree with you, but I'll respect your right to disagree, and you can respect mine. And just take a look at what's happening in Texas. I mean, we have people down there all over the country, black, white, red, green, whatever, going to help those people down there. And what are we doing here? We're planning to shut down Cardinal baseball games. We're planning to get ready for rioting in the streets merely because you may not like a result, and you may not like it, not based upon the evidence, but just based upon your thought that this guy should be guilty of a crime, regardless of the law.
Yeah, I am anticipating this verdict coming down potentially early next week, and we're going to continue to pay attention to that. And I'm sure you will be on 97.1 again during the week to weigh in as we hear it or as we anticipate it. So, Chet Pleban, thank you so much for some time on a Saturday holiday weekend.
Well, you're welcome, Annie, and you have a great weekend.
You too. Bye-bye. I don't know how this is going to come out. Nobody knows how this is going to come out. One person has all the facts, and that is the judge. And the judge, I would hope that he would, labor over each and every detail until it's completely and totally colored in the entire picture as much as he possibly can before he makes a judgment. Isn't that what we would want? A full vetting of the entire story, of all the evidence and all the facts that are presented by both sides by somebody who is in that position to do that? That's what I think. I don't know what you do. You come down? Do you go? Do you go spend any time downtown St. Louis? Are you worried about this? I'm worried about it. I'm all for justice, and I don't know if that means guilty or not guilty. I don't have a dog in that fight. I want justice to be served, but I am not somebody who needs to be in fear of how this is going to affect daily life downtown or anywhere for that matter. 314-969-9797, 866-455-9797 if you want to weigh in on this. And also we got an Annie, Are You Okay coming up next. You can tweet at me at Annie Frey Show, and I'll chat with you about this on the break as well. We'll be back in just a second.
You better get behind. You're not welcome. All you ever done is fool me one more time.
Talk lines are open now. 314-969-9797 or toll free 866-455-9797. This is the Annie Frey Show.
If only I brought the holy water instead of this whiskey and rye. Give me that whiskey and rye.
Watch the Mark Cox Show live on the Granite Transformation Studio Cam at 971talk.com/Cox. Log on to our website or use your mobile device to join the daily live stream and watch the show. It's the Granite Transformation Studio Cam at 971talk.com/Cox.
At Dietz & Watson, we're inviting families everywhere to choose the table together more often. That's why we offer a variety of premium meats and artisan cheeses, each handcrafted so you can reinvent mealtime with the people you call family. For meals that come together in minutes wherever you are, and for more of those moments that everyone can savor. Visit ChooseTheTable.com for inspiration and to find your local Dietz & Watson deli.
Your seriously ill patients return again and again for high acuity care in the ED or hospital setting when symptoms aren't managed correctly. Vitas Healthcare offers palliative alternatives to aggressive treatment as we transition those hospice-eligible patients to comfort care at home. From inpatient hospice beds to continuous care at home, Vitas has the resources to care for your most complex patients. Refer today. Don't delay. Call 888-VITAS-80 or go to Vitas.com. That's VITAS.com.
Earnings vary based on your effort. Message and data rates may apply.
Do you want to learn how to make money flipping houses right here in St. Louis? If so, we have an amazing opportunity for you. We're looking for a small group of motivated individuals to join our real estate investing team. You'll learn our simple 3-step system for flipping homes right here in the local area. This is Than Merrill, star of A&E's hit TV show Flip This House. My team and I are looking for a handful of people in the St. Louis area who want to learn how to make money flipping houses in your spare time using other people's money. St. Louis is a perfect market for my system, and next week I'm holding a free 2-hour educational workshop where you will learn how to make money flipping homes and how to build long-term wealth with income properties.
To get 2 free tickets to Than's workshop, text INVEST to 99,000. Seating is extremely limited. Text in the next 10 minutes and you'll also reserve a free copy of Than's Money for Deals guide. Text INVEST to 99,000. That's INVEST to 99,000.
Get a $5,000 engagement ring now for less than $85 a month. Yes, you can at Diamonds Direct with 5 years zero-interest financing now for a limited time. Pick any item. Spread your payments over 5 years without paying a dime in interest. How about a $3,000 pair of diamond stud earrings for only $50 a month? Don't miss this once-a-year opportunity. 5 years zero interest on any purchase at Diamonds Direct. Rings, earrings, bracelets, bands. 5 years zero interest. Diamonds Direct. Olive at 270 on approved credit.
Hi, everybody. This is Ken.
And Becky Miller, owners of Sugar Creek Winery, inviting you to visit us for an afternoon of fun, sipping our estate bottled wines.
Sugar Creek Winery offers live music every Saturday and Sunday from 1 to 5 p.m. Also enjoy our food trucks or bring your own picnic basket.
We are open every day, 11 till 6. For information or reservations for special events, call 636-987-2400.
Or check our website, sugarcreekwines.com.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly. I hope you're enjoying your Labor Day weekend. This Tuesday, make sure to join us as we do a radiothon right here at SSM Health Cardinal Glennon. Cardinal Glennon relies on these donations every year in their continuing effort to support St. Louis with some of the best health care available, regardless of your ability to pay. Please make a donation today by calling 314-781-9700 or come on down to the hospital and you can make your donation in person. The Home Loan Expert LLC, Missouri Residential Mortgage Licensee.
Hey, this is Reba McIntyre, and I wanted to talk to you about a serious problem right here in our own backyard. Did you know that there are nearly 16 million kids struggling with hunger in America? That's why the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks collects surplus food, engaging their communities in solving hunger and giving hope to hungry kids and their families. But they need your help. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
A message from Feeding America and the Ad Council.
FM NewsTalk 97.1 is teaming up with the American Red Cross and our fellow St. Louis broadcasters to help the flood victims of Hurricane Harvey. Please go to redcross.org or text Harvey to 90999 and make a donation today. Your donation will help the American Red Cross provide meals, shelter, and hope to tens of thousands of people affected by this historic flooding. You can also find this information on our station's website, 971talk.com.
Just a young gun with a quick fuse. I was uptight, wanna let loose. I was dreaming of bigger things and wanna leave my old life behind. Not a yes sir, not a follower. Fit the box, fit the mold, have a seat in the foyer. Take a number. I was lightning before the thunder.
Talk lines are open now. 314-969-9797 or toll free 866-455-9797. This is the Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back into the Annie Frey Show. I hope you're having a wonderful Labor Day weekend. This is one of my favorite holiday weekends because it's low-key. You know, you got any of the other major holidays that involve a million places to be and a million things to do. Labor Day is like an exhale for me. I don't even like to make Labor Day plans because I just like to have some days. So that's what I'm doing. Hopefully you are doing something that makes you happy on your Labor Day because America, right? We were talking about the Jason Stockley case. Officer Stockley pursues Lamar Anthony Smith in a car after witnessing a drug deal. Is that didn't Chet Pleban just say that it's confirmed that it was a drug deal, right? I think so. As much as So the officer witnesses what he believes to be a drug deal, pursues Lamar Anthony Smith.
Well, and he actually nearly gets run over by Lamar Anthony Smith.
Yes.
By a car.
A lot of reason for an officer.
There's a video of this this chase and everything that happens.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he's certainly a situation where I'd be scared for my life.
Yeah, it's not like some of the cases where we've seen somebody pull somebody over for a traffic light that is out on their car, or a tail light or whatever that is out on their car, and then you pull them over, and then it is a black man and a white officer, and
No, there were questionable things that went down to cause the interaction between the officers and Smith, and then there was Smith attacking the officers with his vehicle.
Yeah.
And then the high-speed chase and everything. I mean, yeah,
and it results in Smith dead at the end of Officer Stockley's gun. So, yes, the question is, was it a justified shooting? Well, there are many people who believe absolutely without a doubt that it was not a justified shooting. That's why he's being charged with first-degree murder and unlawful criminal action. And they have now, activists, clergy, family, people have been on the steps of the courthouse, and they say that they are going to enact mass disruption in the event that they don't get the verdict, the guilty verdict that they believe should happen. Quote, this is from Tory Russell, 33, of St. Louis. He said, it's going to look a lot like Ferguson. It's going to be 100-plus days, 300-plus days of direct action. Got a tweet over the break from Stephanie, who says, if only they understood how much they're going to disrupt people, I may be prevented from getting patients to the hospital, getting two patients at the hospital. Yeah, exactly. When you disrupt traffic on the highway and an ambulance needs to get through, you're not helping your cause. You're hurting the cause. Take some phone calls here. If you'd like to weigh in, please give us a call at 314-969-9797 or 866-455-9797. We're going to start with John. John, thank you for calling the show.
Oh, no problem. I was just going to say, if the officer is found guilty and they're already telling us what they're going to do, I say line up the paddy wagons. And peaceful protest is fine. But as soon as they break any law, I don't care how big a law, how small a law, you start arresting people and you make them use those paddy wagons where they can visibly see them maybe, or even go out and talk like they're talking. Have the authorities go out there and say, hey, you break the law. This isn't going to be Ferguson. This isn't going to be Baltimore. You're going to be arrested to the full extent of the law. And let the police officers do their job. We got a governor. I'm sure it would be supportive if we need a National Guard, but I sure as heck have them ready to go. Because we don't need another Ferguson.
No.
The innocent businesses don't need that. But anyway, I really appreciate your show. It's fun to listen to with Jamie, too.
Oh, thank you, John. I appreciate you calling in, and I think you make a really interesting point here. We had Ferguson, but that was not under our Republican governor, Greitens. That makes a big difference on the reaction that these protesters. Let's hypothetically say that we get the verdict, and let's hypothetically say it's a not guilty verdict. The officer is found not guilty, and these people enact mass disruption, and it's going to look a lot like Ferguson, 100-plus days, 300-plus days of direct action, as they say. Let's pretend that that's what happens. Ferguson wouldn't have been Ferguson if Nixon would have handled it differently. And Greitens has the hindsight of being able to look back on that, which is something that Nixon did not have. But I'm pretty sure he's going to handle it differently. So then we're going to see what that looks like. But meanwhile, folks like you and me who are trying to come to work or get to the hospital or go to a Cardinals game, minding our own business, we're going to have to deal with this. So it'll be very interesting to see here. Brother Bob, thanks for calling the Annie Frey Show.
Hey, Sister Annie, I respect you, and also the two brothers in there that making you look good like y'all make Jamie Allman look good. So, hey, right on. I'm telling you. So, look, I have a lot of respect for Attorney Chuck Cleveland. I know him, but can I do George Wilson? George Wilson, I think his record has been really good. I did cover the trial as an independent person in the media here. And got good video, pictures, interviews, and everything. One of the things that I haven't heard anyone bring up, Jason Stockley graduated with honors from the military academy. He was to serve honorably in the Iraq War, come back, graduated #1 in the St. Louis Police Academy. And one thing that disturbed me at the trial was the St. Louis Police Department, medical people and them, said they did not recommend him for the job. And I'm really torn really, that whoever was in there then, I don't know whether it was Chief Isom or who, and Mayor Slade, that allowed it to happen. And then coming back from Iraq War, where military people are trained to kill, where the police are to serve and protect. And then that line is drawn. And then when Stockley run into what he did, I really think that we're going to have to start vetting our military heroes who come back and want to get into the police department to serve and protect. Now, out in Ferguson, I was out there from the beginning. I'm out there now. I'm getting on the street with activists. I'm pretty confident with the people out of Ferguson and the metro area here. We are taught to train nonviolent. In Ferguson with Dr. King, daughter Denise King and Captain Alphen have come in 2 times. I have video footage showing how they have intervened between the police and some of the reactionary protesters. I'm very much concerned about the Antifa, along with those that have hooked up now with the Black Lives Matter militant arm and the anarchists. Anarchists are here to teach them how to make, young people especially, how to make Molotov. I'm not able to get through right now. I'm having some real problem with the people I named being paid by Soros and them to do these things, to undercut our American history and our culture. Now, this is so important. So I think that Jason Stockley, they have just snapped at that moment, and so much that was on him.
Yeah, thank you, Brother Bob. You make a good point, too, and thank you for calling the show. I really appreciate that. The stakes are so high for so many people. The stakes are so high for people who feel as though there are officers out there hunting them down in the streets and looking for opportunities to kill them. There are people who believe that. They're showing up on the steps of the courthouse and saying so. Why is it that they believe that? Why is it that they believe that and so many other people don't? There's probably an element of truth in what they're seeing, what they're experiencing, but there are people who are feeding that narrative. And it's dangerous. It's causing danger for the rest of us as these stakes get heightened and heightened. Ken, David, Naya, I want to talk to you on the other side of this break here at Annie Frey Show on Twitter, at Annie Frey Show. You can tweet at me. I'll read your tweets on air as well. We'll be back in just a minute. Stay tuned. More of your calls, 314-969-9797 or 866-455-9797. We'll be back in a quick second.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show.
Weather. Clouds take control today. Chance of a couple of spotty little...
With Fox 2 meteorologist Dave Murray.
Brought to you by Air Comfort Service. 0% financing and factory rebates, plus utility rebates on a new HVAC system. Details at aircomfortservice.com.
This is Sean Vinson, president of Vinson Mortgage. Our family has over 27 years of experience in the mortgage business. We know that experience is critical, but a solid, trustworthy reputation for providing a stress-free and seamless process, all while treating our clients with courtesy and respect, is the Vinson Mortgage difference. Just listen to what one of our clients has to say.
I felt like I had no options anymore, and Vinson Mortgage gave me options. I actually called right before a holiday weekend. They immediately started working on the process. They were always available for any of my questions, even on the weekends. They literally saved me $700 a month. They really made the process easy and effortless for me. Best experience I have had.
That's what sets Vinson Mortgage apart from others. Why would you go anywhere else? Call us today at Vinson Mortgage, 314-839-9999, or chat with us online at vinsonmortgage.com. Again, that's vinsonmortgage.com, or 314-839-9999. NMLS 225095, 12801 Flushing Meadows Drive, St. Louis, Missouri, 63131.
It's McBride & Son Homes Picture Perfect Selfie Home Tour. Visit any of McBride's over 40 communities and save from $5,000 to $105,000 on a new home. Then snap a selfie, upload it to McBrideHomes.com, and register to win great prizes like a free trip to Jamaica, a new iPhone 7, or a 55-inch 4K TV. It's a picture-perfect chance to get a great deal and have some fun. The McBride Homes Snap a Selfie Home Tour, September 1st through 30th. See McBrideHomes.com for details.
Jaguar St. Louis wants you to experience the most powerful F-Type ever. The SVR Coupe, 575 horsepower, 0 to 60 in just 3.5 seconds. Test drive one today. And while you're there, check out the 2017 Jaguar XE for only $259 a month. Only at Jaguar St. Louis, a Plaza Motor Company, in Creve Coeur, and JaguarSt.Louis.com. 36-month lease, 0 security deposit, $24.95 down payment, $7.95 acquisition fee, and first month's payment of $259 due at signing. Excludes retailer fees, taxes, title, and registration fees. See dealer for details. Offer expires 9/4/17.
St. Charles, St. Louis, or Jefferson counties. Need knows no geographic boundaries when it comes to seniors, disabled, and sick kids without utilities.
St. Louis City, St. Clair, and Madison counties, and other parts of the region. People are struggling to keep cool this summer.
CoolDownStLouis.org uses 100% of your online donations to keep the air on for the needy. This is Melanie DeLeo. Please check on your senior neighbors.
Reverend Earl Nance Jr. here. Please give to CoolDownStLouis.org.
Get incredible deals on the latest flooring trends at Lumber Liquidators Fall Flooring Kickoff Sale and transform your home today. All pre-finished hardwood and all bamboo is on sale, including $1 off per square foot on 17 Bellawood floors. Get the best deals on the best selection of wood look waterproof floors, like 45% off vinyl plank, 43% off wood look tile, and 17% off new click ceramic plank. More from 49 cents plus special financing. The Fall Flooring Kickoff Sale's going on now at Lumber Liquidators.
Summer's slowly coming to an end, and once again, you've put off getting the repairs done to your home's basement. Don't wait any longer. The basement specialists at Midwest Basement Tech will give you 3 good reasons not to put off fixing that leaky, cracked basement. Reason number 1. Problem will only get worse and cost you more money in the long run. Number 2, call now and save 10% on all repairs. They also offer 12 months same as cash, or stretch it out with their long-term financing program. And reason number 3, Midwest Basement Tech is family owned and operated and a great company to work with. They actually care about your home. They have a fully staffed office, and when you call, you can actually talk to a real person. Midwest Basement Tech offers only patented engineered products to create a healthy and strong basement, serving both sides of the river. Call the experts at Midwest Basement Tech now. 800-848-9805. That's 800-848-9805. Or visit their website, MidwestBasementTech.com.
The Mark Cox Show.
Monday, happy Labor Day. Are you worried about the possibility of protests downtown? We'll kick around security with several experts.
Now weekdays noon to 3 on FM News Talk 97.1.
Talk lines are open now. 314-969-9797 or toll free 866-455-9797. This is the Annie Frey Show.
Stockley testified he was justified in using deadly force. Smith took off when Stockley and his partner suspected he was part of a drug deal. During the chase, a police camera recorded Stockley saying he's going to kill that expletive. Stockley and his defense say Smith had a gun. One was found, but questions about that gun surfaced when Smith's DNA was not on the gun, but Stockley's was.
Welcome back into the Annie Frey Show. I want to get straight to these phone calls. We got a full board, and I don't have a whole lot of time to take everyone's phone call. Naya, thank you for calling the show. What do you think about all of this?
Oh.
Naya, go ahead.
Oh, hey, girl. So I'm a new Republican.
Naya.
Hello.
There you
I
go.
voted this year. I voted, and I'm very proud to say I have seen the light. No, I changed my stance a couple years ago. As far as with this cop, we are innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah.
And my thing is, I moved out of Ferguson, Florida when the whole Michael Brown thing came up. I was like, why are we burning up Quick Trip? What did Quick Trip ever do to us? But I'm sorry, you act like a thug, you do thug things, you're going to get treated like a thug. And whether or not this cop is guilty or innocent, we are all proven innocent until guilty. And this old rivaling in the streets and staying in the middle of being idiots. This is not how you change. We're going to change things. You ain't going to change nothing. You do it right. You go make a bill. You do it the right way. You don't stand and look like an ass. I'm sorry, but you stand in the middle of the road, you're going to get run over. That's you did it to yourself.
Yeah. Naya, thanks for the call. You riot, you do stuff like that, you make a statement, you protest quietly, you do it effectively, you can make another statement there. It's not like if you have something to say, you should keep your mouth shut. David, what do you think about the whole situation? Thanks for calling the show.
Well, I think your comments were contradictory to what she just said. I thought that was amazing, but I want to be very clear. I respect Brother Bob. I'm a 62-year-old caller that have been very aware of his efforts in the community for a long time. But let's be frank about something. You know, we look at something very clearly. We look at white racism in America, across the globe. It is a reality. A lot of people try to pretend it doesn't exist. Now, let's be frank about this Brown situation in Ferguson. First of all, have you ever heard of Tennessee versus Garner? Have you ever heard of that? That case?
No. But
okay.
I have 5 minutes to get to 3 more calls.
Okay,
so
no, that's not a problem.
Okay.
I'll just state it and then I'll get off and get your comment. Okay, the deal is this. State statute falls far below case law. And here, it was a time where an officer could shoot a fleeing suspect. But since 1985, you can't do that. That's Tennessee versus Garner. And the reality is this. At least the officer should have went to trial based on that. Now, what happened in St. Louis County? We had some prosecuting attorneys that did not tell the jury about case law until two or 3 weeks later. So that's the kind of things that happen to black people, you know, and I think one of the things about it, to look at an officer who says he's going to kill somebody, and then here we find out that it's a gun. We've been having guns planted on us forever.
Well, David,
and
you know what? I understand. Just a second, David. David,
I'm going to hang up.
Go ahead. One comment.
My last comment. Okay, my comment is this. One of the most mild-mannered things a person can do, just as you mentioned, is to at least protest.
Sure.
You know, and
speak up. Yeah.
For the caller who says these are idiots, at least these are people who are trying to change this. Black people can't just come up with a bill and just change things.
Sure, they did. Black people can sign executive orders that allow dreamer children to stay in this country, and we had a president.
One black president that we had did that, right? Right?
Absolutely, and there are black Republicans, and there are.
How many other black presidents did we have that had that ability to do that?
Well, my lifetime has been about a third of a president being.
How many black presidents historically have we had?
Why does that matter? Because what matters is where we are today.
Because you act like it was the norm. It's not the norm.
No, I don't act like it's the norm. But what I'm telling you right now, Mike, thanks for calling. Or David, excuse me, thanks for your call. What I'm trying to tell you here is that you're telling me that black people have guns planted on them. That's what you're saying. And you know what I'm saying to you? That might be true. I don't know that that's not to be true. I don't know that that doesn't happen. Just because I'm a white girl, 33-year-old mother of 3, doesn't mean that I can say to you that black people don't have guns planted on them. But for this case, for Lamar Anthony Smith's death, and for Officer Jason Stockley's murder trial, where he is being charged with first-degree murder and criminal action, I don't have the paper in front of me, for that, the only thing that matters here is if that gun was planted. And unless you have the facts about Jason Stockley and Lamar Anthony Smith in this specific case, none of that matters. Jason Stockley, unless he did first degree murder in the first degree, kill Lamar Anthony Smith, Jason Stockley does not deserve to go to jail for the rest of his life or die if it goes to capital punishment. He does not deserve that because of other wrongdoings. You cannot say that Stockley is guilty because bad things have happened to other black people. That is an issue that does need to be addressed. I will never tell you that there are not people racially profiling African Americans every single day. I will not tell you that. As a female, I will not tell you that I don't deal with things on a daily basis that being a woman I have to deal with, that if I were a man, I would not have to deal with that. That is a reality. We adjust, we move forward, we try to prove the narratives wrong. As a female, I'm constantly trying to make sure that in the man's world of radio that I work in, that I am holding my own. I have to prove myself every day. And I would think that if I were a man, too. But just because black people feel as though, rightfully or unrightfully so, feel as though that there are guns that are planted on black people to prove that they are guilty and to prove that white people are innocent, none of that matters in the case of Officer Stockley and the case of Anthony Lamar Smith's death, unless that is what happened in this case. And if it did happen, if Officer Stockley did plant that gun on Lamar Anthony Smith so he could kill him in cold blood, then that officer should fry for that crime. But you cannot say in any uncertain terms that if it has happened before and if there is an actual pattern of it happening elsewhere, that has any bearing on this case and this man's trial for first-degree murder. It's a separate thing. I understand the frustration. I can't empathize with it because I'm not a black man like you are. I can't, but I can respect it. But what you need to do, and what we all need to do, is let the facts of this case be put out there. Officer Stockley is not guilty until somebody proves that he is guilty. And if that can be proven, and if he is guilty, I hope that it is proven. If he is guilty of what people are charging him of doing on the steps of the courthouse, then the lawyers will prove that to be the case. And if the lawyers do not prove that to be the case, they haven't done their job. But we don't live in a society where you throw a tantrum and say, if you do not find this man guilty, we will burn it down. That is not the world that we live in. That is not America. That is not justice. And when the tides turn and you are on the other side of that coin, you're going to want justice. You're not going to want somebody to throw a fit on the other side so that they can get their way. That's not how we act. We have to separate the things that we need to bring attention to, the things that do deserve to be protested, the hate, the racist behavior on both sides of the aisle that deserve to be quieted, hushed, called out, and gotten rid of. Those things deserve to be protested. But just the presence of that occurring in our society right now does not mean that before justice has been done, you can hang a man for a crime he may not have committed. Thanks for listening to the Annie Frey Show today. Sorry I didn't get to the rest of the calls, but Jim loves you. Take a bow. Is that what that said? Callers called in. I appreciate it. Follow me on Twitter at Annie Frey Show, and please go to my Facebook page, facebook.com/Annie Frey Show, and give us a like. And check out my show on iTunes, Stitcher. Subscribe, like, rate. I appreciate it. Downrange coming up next. Be back in a week.
So you're in the market for high-end windows like Anderson, Marvin, and Pella. You owe it to yourself, though, to look at Beechworth Windows by James Hardy. Banner Construction is a preferred James Hardy installer, and they have the expertise to make your home a real showplace. Or if you're looking for a more moderately priced window with all the same benefits of energy conservation and low maintenance, Banner offers Simonton Windows, rated the best vinyl window by Consumer Reports. And right now, Banner Construction is making both Beechworth and Simonton windows even more affordable with their best offer of the year. Buy 4 windows from Banner and get 1 free. Make your home cozy this winter with quality installation from Banner with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Whether you want luxury windows from Beechworth or affordable quality from Simonton, trust your project to Banner. Buy 4 windows and get 1 free now through Halloween. Only at Banner Construction. Call 314-569-1050, 314-569-1050.
Radio moves. Radio breathes. Radio never sleeps. And Next Radio keeps up. It goes where you go, so you never miss a beat. It's live, it's local, it's a connection. A shared experience, just you and your radio. And a couple million people, give or take. Next Radio keeps up. You thought that phone couldn't get any smarter? Well, it got simpler. It got leaner. It's got your back. And it'll keep you moving. Winning. In the know. And it'll get you where you want to go. All in the palm of your hand. Next Radio. Live and local, wherever you go.
Listen to your favorite FM stations with the free Next Radio app. Live and local, wherever you go. Download the free Next Radio app today.
Earnings vary based on your effort. Message and data rates may apply. Do you want to learn how to make money flipping houses right here in St. Louis? If so, we have an amazing opportunity for you. We're looking for a small group of motivated individuals to join our real estate investing team. You'll learn our simple 3-step system for flipping homes right here in the local area. This is Than Merrill, star of A&E's hit TV show Flip This House. My team and I are looking for a handful of people in the St. Louis area who want to learn how to make money flipping houses in your spare time using other people's money. St. Louis is a perfect market for my system, and next week I'm holding a free 2-hour educational workshop where you will learn how to make money flipping homes and how to build long-term wealth with income properties. To get 2 free tickets to Than's workshop, text INVEST to 99,000. Seating is extremely limited. Text in the next 10 minutes and you'll also reserve a free copy of Than's Money for Deals guide. Text INVEST to 99,000. That's INVEST to 99,000.
KFTK FM, Florissant. KFTK AM East St. Louis. K254CR St. Louis.
Powered by thehomeloanexpert.com.
FM News Talk 97.1.
A new order issued in Houston. I'm Tom Graham, Fox News.
I have no choice but to issue a mandatory evacuation.
Houston Mayor Sylvester Turner with a message for several hundred residents in one particularly waterlogged area in the wake of Hurricane Harvey.
And within that area, it only applies to homes, structures that are currently inundated with water.
Much of the water submerging parts of Houston are now teeming with raw sewage, pipes backed up. Elsewhere, there is improvement.
Things are much better today. The community is upbeat. The weather has obviously changed for the better.
That's Victoria, Texas Mayor Paul Polisek. Corpus Christi Mayor Joe McComb also sounding upbeat.
Our water and wastewater facilities are back up and running.
Still plenty to clean up, though. An estimated 7,000 homes destroyed, number of killed now at 50. President Trump again getting a first-hand look today, meeting with storm victims and first responders. Fox's Peter Ducey is in Houston.
He had a lot of questions about how they were able to save so many lives, and they talked a lot about the way that things have been going for the last few days. The president also thanked first responders for answering thousands of calls for help in unimaginable conditions.
You have done so much for the services and for the respect, and the whole world is watching.
Right now, the president is on his way back to the White House. It's a White House that late last night asked Congress for almost $8 billion in emergency Harvey relief money. The president told Texas Senator Ted Cruz today he thinks the senator may have to fight for some of that funding, but that he does think that Congress will pass it.
Congress getting back to work this Tuesday after a long summer recess. An explosive claim. North Korea now says it's developed a hydrogen bomb to use with a long-range intercontinental ballistics missile. That's according to state media there. There is no immediate comment yet from the Pentagon or other U.S. officials. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling. Weather.
The official FM News Talk 97.1 Weather Center forecast calls for a comfortable night tonight. No problems if you're going out this evening. Partly cloudy tonight, low 64 to 68. Tomorrow, sunny, warmer day, but still not bad for early September, high 87. Mainly clear tomorrow night, low 66 to 70. Labor Day, hot and humid, sun mixing with clouds, high 92. Could see a shower or thunderstorm late in the day or at night. Cooler Tuesday. I'm meteorologist Frank Strait for FM News Talk 97.1.
It's the best offer ever from Diamonds Direct. 5 years, zero interest financing on anything and everything. Now, for a limited time, pick any item and spread your payments over 5 years with zero interest. How about a $4,000 Diamond Eternity Band? And you pay only $67 a month. Or a $6,000 designer engagement ring, only $100 a month. Hurry, this once-a-year offer at Diamonds Direct will not last long. 5 years, zero interest, nothing down, and nothing held back. Only at Diamonds Direct. Olive and 27 on approved credit.
Tim Jones here for Universal Windows Direct. You know, the kids are back in school. We're flipping their calendar page, which means winter is right around the corner. You might need new windows. If they're moldy, ugly, fogged up, drafty, or worse, cold weather is not far away. Don't suffer through one more winter in a cold, drafty home. Call my guys at Universal Windows Direct. They're a great local company. Universal Windows Direct offers windows that are more efficient on the edge of the glass than other windows on the market. It's aerospace technology called Super Spacer. Their windows have a life expectancy 5 times that of other systems, so you get windows that perform better and last longer. Universal is making it easy for you. Your home can be cozy all winter because for every window you buy, you get the next window free. There's no limit. 0% financing for 36 months, plus this week, free installation. As always, get the Universal True Lifetime Warranty for as long as you own your home and for 30 years to the next homeowner. Schedule your free in-home estimate today. Call Universal Windows Direct, 314-878-0300. Go to universalwindowsstlouis.com. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
The Financial Symphony is a show that blends the worlds of music and finance together in one harmonious package. It features your local financial maestro, Jerry Means.
A lot of advisors out there are mainly giving accumulation advice or looking at the growth through your working years. You really need to take a look at, is your advisor giving you advice on preservation and distribution?
That's the Financial Symphony with Jerry Means, Sunday mornings at 9 on FM News Talk 97.1.
Never paint again. Seriously. Who wants to paint anyways? Rhino Shield would love to paint your home, business, or church for the last time. You know, when it's not raining. Water and sun are the 2 most damaging villains against your home's defense for chipping, cracking, peeling, and rot. Our permanent ceramic coating locks out 100% of the moisture, 90% of the sun's UV rays, and we back it up with a 25-year transferable warranty. A-plus rated with the Better Business Bureau. See why we are rapidly becoming your neighbor's go-to solution for cracks, splits, nail pops, and just bad color schemes. Now's the time to be smart to save time and money. Call 877-25-RHINO, 877-25-RHINO, or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius.
Don't paint, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Can't believe this is happening. We are trying to stay informed.
What happens next?
Yeah, I'm scared.
This is historic. It's epic.
We're ready to go save some people.
Everything we can to rescue and save every life.
Happens here.
Launched a projectile that traveled over Japan.
No country should have missiles flying over them.
FM News Talk.
Nothing like it. It's bad. The deadliest in America's history.
97.1.
What is happening now?
Younger, smarter, better.
This is Downrange with John and Ron. Certified NRA instructors John Henderson and Ron McCain from the Range St. Louis West take you inside the world of firearms and personal protection. This is Downrange, the radio show that asks,
Are you ready?
Welcome back to Downrange Radio with John and Ron. I'm your host, John Henderson, the owner of the Range St. Louis West, joined in studio with Mr. Ron McCain. Ron, how we doing?
I'm good, but I'm a little discombobulated.
Why are you discombobulated?
Because we're recording the show this week.
We are recording this when it is a holiday weekend, and we're going to be busy at the range doing some other stuff this weekend, and hopefully spend a day with our family.
Looking forward to it.
On that note, we are going to be closed on Monday. Let our staff spend the day with their family on Labor Day. So this is being recorded. It's Thursday, so it's a couple of days before.
Feels funny.
We normally do this. So.
Feels like Saturday night.
So it's just normal for you, right?
It's always Saturday night for me.
So lots of stuff going on in this past week. Just everything with Hurricane Harvey and just that whole situation is just unprecedented. Not to mention the normal stuff that's going on.
Oh yeah, and obviously our hearts are with those folks down there and that are going through that. I would also just like to give a big shout out to our Missouri first responders. They're down there in mass They've saved hundreds of people.
That's right, and that's happening from all the other states all around the Midwest, people pouring in. And it's just, you know what? That's what makes America great.
It really is.
It really is.
You know, it's funny because last night I was gassing up the car and I ran into David, who's one of our members at the range, and he is a captain at a firehouse.
Mm-hmm.
And he said we got to just standing at the gas pump. You know, I was talking to him a little bit about this, and he mentioned that they had a crew. Their crews, when they go down there, John, they work 12-hour days, 14 days straight. Yep. I mean, it is just back-breaking,
and it's exhausting, physically
nasty.
Exhausting work. Yeah,
and these guys, they're ready to do it. I'm so impressed. So impressed. And they walk away from their families, from everything else that's going on. And so kudos to those men and women and to the husbands and wives and children of those men and women.
Yeah, because they're sacrificing with them.
Absolutely.
So just like when the military guys get deployed, it's the same scenario. So I think, third segment, we want to talk more about Harvey.
I think it would
everything
be good.
That's going on there, as well as, hey, what can I do to be better prepared for a situation like that?
But there's some other weird stuff going on.
We talked briefly about the Casey serial killer.
You told me about that. You need to share that one a little bit, because that was kind of scary.
Yeah, I didn't even know about it until I think it was yesterday. But basically, there's a quote serial killer by the news reports, the police reports, that was targeting middle-aged white men, and that was his target. And basically, most of them he's getting while they're on walking trails, walking their dog and stuff like that, sneaking up behind them, and they never even knew it was coming. And so apparently they have caught the guy now.
Yeah,
I did not even know it was really going on until after they caught him. And I think he's killed like 4 or 5 people. So it just shows you that you can do something on a walking trail in the suburbs of Kansas City, which is a relatively safe place, and you just never know what's going to happen. You always have to be aware of what's going on around you, and particularly pay attention to the things that look out of place.
Well, but again, you can have somebody walk by you on a trail, smile at you, wave at you. You smile. And my wife and I, there are a lot of great trails here in St. Louis. We spend a lot of time on those. But I don't know how many people I see walking those trails with their earbuds in, walking their dogs.
Paying no attention.
And I get it, because you can listen to some music. You can listen to some inspirational stuff while you're out there in the woods. It'll bring a tear to your eye. It can refresh you. But you're a prime target, because somebody can literally walk by you, turn around and get in behind you. You'd never know they were there.
That's right.
So you've always got to be ready. And that's, another reason why I like my .38 Snubby in a belly band holster.
Right, but you got to be paying attention and know something's happening to even deploy that. So, and then we got you found a story on the
well, that's been in the news here. The 88-year-old woman in Florissant, 3.
It's hard to even talk about.
I'm getting mad just thinking about it. 88-year-old woman got her purse snatched in a parking lot at a Deerberg's up in Florissant, and then the perpetrators ran over her while they were making their exit. So,
and they 88-year-old woman,
they hit her because she had some lottery tickets that she'd won with, and they were not substantive at all. But she got some serious injuries. She's in the hospital recovering from that. They did catch all 3 of these hoods, these thugs. It just
makes you
angry. But and I don't know the whole story. I don't know what happened, but that's one of those cases where, I would get involved if I was a bystander. Obviously, if I saw something like that going on, it's obvious who the victim is, right? So
the perpetrator's probably not the 88-year-old woman.
One of the things that just goes through my head is what was going on around her that she wasn't able to draw any help from. So
you never know. We don't know all this.
I never know. So. So, but then there was a good one. There was a good one. Guy got a phone call from his security company. Said, "Hey, your alarm's going off." He went home and found 2 guys in his dwelling. One of them was armed, and he got shot.
The bad guy got
shot.
So that's
it's funny. The article said he noticed that one of the thieves, one of the burglars, was armed, but so was he. Right. So good for him and being able to defend himself. Another example of just being prepared.
Being prepared, and that's why we harp on training so much and everything that we do. And this is just the more training you take, the better prepared you are, not just with the physical skills, but the mental aspect of being prepared is so important. In all those cases we just talked about, the mental aspect is the first thing, right?
I think that's a good point.
And it's really that way in every situation. And so that you can't substitute the thought process. You can't substitute gear for it. You can't substitute anything else for that thought process of being ready and being prepared to act. So that's what we do with training. So if you got questions about that and about that mental aspect of it, it's a big part of the training that we do. So call us at the range 636-220-1300. Find us online at therange.stl.com. All our training is up there. You can sign up online. If you got questions, just call. Ask for me, Ron. Ask for Phil, our training manager. We want you to be ready. It's like we talked about last time. It's why we're here is so that people are better prepared. So
my why is to make the world a better place by giving people an opportunity to take care of themselves.
So,
right?
Well, I mean, if a bad guy's trying to harm you or your family, it comes down to you or them. And I hope that
it's not me.
It's not. Yeah, exactly.
But you can't just hope.
Yeah, hope is not a strategy.
Hope is not a strategy.
So you got to have a strategy for that. So real quick, we got a lot going on. We're going to have Trish on to talk about the women's view of self-defense and personal preparedness. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to talk a little bit about Harvey. So run us through the calendar at the range real quick so we can make sure we don't miss anything.
We've got a CCW class coming up on September 9th, and then on the 13th, Girls Just Want to Have Guns, and Tricia will spend some time talking about that. She came to that, brought a couple of girlfriends, was a great experience for her. Well, I'm speaking for her, but I'm sure it was a great experience for her. And then following that up, we're going to do a women's-only basic handgun course on the 16th, basic handgun skills for anyone on the 17th, and then we're going to do our Carbine 1 course on the 18th of September. So if you've got one of those great modern sporting rifles, those evil black rifles, bring it out. We can show you how to run that. And then the free course on the 21st, our new owner orientation course. Anybody that's bought a firearm from us for absolutely free, come in, sit down. Our armor will show you how to disassemble it, clean it, put it back together. If you didn't buy a firearm from us, you're welcome to take that course. It's $45, lasts a couple of hours, but that's on the 21st. And then I'm really excited about this one, the 23rd and the 24th. It's a 2-day course, and it's 2 days because you're going to know everything there is to know about an AR at the end of that course.
Yeah, when we say everything, you're going to take every pin, every spring, every piece of that rifle apart and reassemble it multiple times.
Yeah, and we're not just talking about taking the upper off the lower or taking the stock off. We're talking about disassembling that lower.
You're going to disassemble the lower completely. You're going to disassemble the bolt carrier group completely, disassemble the bolt, everything.
So, and we're not going to label the parts for you. At the end of it, we'll just be able to dump all the parts in a box, and you'll be able to figure out what goes where and put it back together.
Yeah, it's an invaluable course in the long run for being able to truly be prepared to work on and maintain your own ARs, and that is the platform out there in America when it comes to recreational and defensive type shooting. So it's well worth it. We're even bringing in a special instructor to teach that course.
That's right.
So Ed Santos is coming in. He's a nationally known trainer, published author, trains. Matter of fact, I was talking to him just this past week, and he was training a tactical team that came in from out of state.
Yeah.
Okay, to train with him on his course. So he's just super at what he does, and he's going to be coming in and actually teaching that course for us. So go online. It's available online. It's not an inexpensive class. It's a $400 class, but I will make this same offer I make to everybody. You take that class. If you don't feel like you got your money worth out of those 2 days, then come see me. I'll figure out how to make it good with you, because I've never had anybody take me up on that offer.
Yeah.
Because the courses are always spot on. You always get so much more out of it than you thought you'd get going in. So go online, therangestl.com, look under training. You can find that. It's called AR Armors course, and it's definitely worth your time and investment to take that.
Well, and I know a lot of folks out there like to build their own or have thought about building their own. Don't know where to start. I'll tell you what, this is the place to do it. So, but that basically runs us through most of September. But again, always check out our webpage, therangestl.com, because we're always adding stuff.
That's right. And speaking of September, it's September. So
that's right. I forgot. It's Sigtember.
That starts September 5th, which is Tuesday, right?
Yep. So for the entire month of September, all of our SIG products are on sale. A lot of people forget SIG doesn't just make a fantastic firearm, not a great handgun or great rifle, but they make optics, they make ammunition, all kinds of cool stuff that's SIG related.
And in conjunction with SIG, we're giving away a lot of SIG stuff.
So we are. So here's how it's going to work. During the month of SIG-Timber, all of our SIG products are going to be on sale. And then we're going to have weekly drawings. We're going to draw for ammo. We're going to draw for a SIG optic. We're going to draw for a free SIG P320 pistol and a free SIG AR-15 rifle.
So how do I get in on that drawing?
Here's how that works. Those drawings will be held about 3 o'clock every Saturday. We're going to live feed those on Facebook, so you're going to want to tune in and watch those. But if you just come into the store and say hi, you get 1 entry into the drawing. If you
don't have to spend any money.
Don't have to spend anything. Just come in and say hi. Come in and tell me how good looking I am. You get an entry. You might get 2 entries for telling. But just show up in the store. You get an entry, and then if you spend $100 in the store, and we have people spend that on the range all the time with ammo and everything else. If you spend $100, you're going to get 5 entries into that drawing, and then if you buy any firearm from us, you're going to get 10 entries into that drawing. So you could over the course of a week end up with bunches and bunches of
dozens of entries,
and walk out of there with a brand new SIG AR rifle.
I like
rifle. It. Yeah, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Really, really looking forward to it. So,
and there's some other miscellaneous SIG gear that we're going to give away as people come in.
Yeah,
and
part of those live
firearms,
drawings, we're always going to draw some of those names. Not, we're going to draw for some hats and some SIG paraphernalia stuff and some cool signage.
And that'll always be 3 p.m. on Saturday.
3 p.m. Saturday. Every Saturday after the 5th.
After the 5th. So this does not start until Tuesday. So it does not cover this weekend.
Yep, because we know everybody, the first couple of days they're going to be enjoying their families and Labor Day in the country we live in. So September 5th, come see us.
All right. So one more quick thing I want to touch is this Michigan custody case.
I don't want to talk about it.
We got a grandfather trying to get custody of his grandson. Don't know all the particulars there, but basically Health and Human Services told him he had to give up his firearms in order to have custody of his grandson. And it even went before a county judge who was quoted as saying, "I know we're violating numerous constitutional rights here, but if you want your grandson, that's the way it's got to be." So this may make it its way all the way to the Supreme Court, because that's pretty egregious. If I own a firearm, I'm not suited to take care of my child. It's basically the position of HHS. This is up in Michigan, and this judge.
Well, how can you be a judge and say, "I know I'm breaking the law, but it's okay. I'm going to do it anyway"? How do you do that?
I don't know. I don't know how you do that, but apparently he does. And so, we've won so many battles the past decade, and I know we have a government that's pretty gun-friendly right now, but the fight is not over. And you know what? When it comes to freedom, the fight's never going to be over.
Fight's never over.
We have to be diligent, no matter what. It doesn't matter how far we've come. There's always going to be bad guys that want to take us other directions.
Yep.
So, all right. So Frank's giving us a hard signal here. We're going to take a break. So when we come back, we're going to be talking with Trish here from 97.1 about her experience with girls with guns and being a millennial female in the self-defense, personal preparedness world.
What's her plan?
Exactly.
Yep.
And then we're going to talk a little bit more about Harvey and what's going on there and the things you can do to be prepared for such a catastrophic situation. As always, reach out to us, 636-220-1300, online at therangestl.com, or you can come into the range at 14803 Manchester Road there in 5 Alessis Park in Baldwin. You've been listening to Downrange on 97.1 FM.
Questions for John and Ron? Email them. Downrange at therangestl.com.
Traffic reports at your fingertips. Real-time traffic online. Log on to 971talk.com for real-time traffic updates.
Brought to you by Frank Lita Acura. With 0.9% financing going on now. Can't beat a Lita. Online at litaacura.com.
Hi, Mark Goldstein here for Edwards Carpet. It's time for our huge Labor Day sale, and we've put together some incredible deals. We've got a 70-ounce face weight carpet, in other words, a thick, top-of-the-line carpet that normally sells for $7.99 for only $4.79 a square foot. Solid and tonal plush carpets that go for $6.99 are now only $3.99 a square foot, and we have a nice entry-level carpet for only $2.89 a square foot. These all-inclusive prices include everything: carpet, pad, installation, removal of your old carpet, and the moving of your furniture, along Along with that, you'll get not 12, but 15 months interest-free financing, and to save you even more, you'll pay no tax. If you've even considered new flooring, this is the sale you don't want to miss. Look for our ad in the Post-Dispatch, visit us online at edwardscarpet.com, and hurry into any of our 5 showrooms. From now through Labor Day, we're donating $1 for every square yard of carpet we sell to Gateway to a Cure, benefiting the Michael J. Fox Foundation and St. Louis's Parkinson's Disease Association.
Come on down to Edwards Carpet Stores.
At Spectrum Business, we provide your business with the very best internet and voice solutions for less. What does that mean for you? It means your business gets faster internet, more advanced voice, and over 99.9% network reliability. It also means no added taxes or fees, and no contracts, ever. Because at Spectrum Business, we believe in earning your business every day. Just call 866-200-6171 to get faster internet speeds, up to 100 megabits per second for only $44.99 a month.